Hello, everyone. This is Amir Ismail joining you once again live from Toronto. Thanks for joining us once again today. It's a bright morning in Toronto. Welcome, everyone. Those who are joining us, our regular viewers, thank you for joining us again. And those who are joining us for the first time, a very warm welcome. My name is Amir Ismail. I'm a authorized citizenship and immigration advisor based in Toronto, Canada, and I've been assisting clients in their immigration matters since 1991. This is again one of our regular weekly updates, and we'll be sharing with you some important immigration updates today as well. And I'll be joined by my team from Toronto, Ottawa, Karachi, and Lahore. Um, Speaking of we working since 1991, this year we are celebrating our 30th anniversary in immigration industry, and these 30 years have been extraordinary because we have seen ups and downs and several changes in policies and regulations, and we have seen it all through. And it was not until recently that we saw something that was unprecedented. We all experienced it, and I don't have to explain it to you as to why I'm saying this. Everything went upside down. Something that didn't change was immigration to Canada. It never stopped, and I'm sure it's never going to stop. In fact, Canada is going leaps and bounds in immigration. The minister announced last year that they have increased the quota for immigrants. They are going to welcome more people, recognizing the fact that immigrants play a main role in driving the economy of Canada. On that note, I also wanted to wish all of you a very happy new year. I didn't have a chance to say that because last Saturday, I was not feeling well, so couldn't go online with my team. But I'm taking this opportunity to wish all of you a very happy new year, and I hope that this year is going to be a bit different. We have vaccine here in Canada, and it's rolling out slowly but gradually. The situation is still very fluid, especially in the province we are located in Ontario. But we are hoping that things are going to be okay in near future. We also are arranging our online consultations with our clients. We had plans to be in Karachi and Lahore, and we have our team in Karachi and Lahore at the moment. But we are also encouraging people to play their part in being responsible and try to book the consultations with us online if they could. But if they wish to meet in person, of course, that can be arranged as well. So today we'll be sharing some updates. Let me introduce you to my team, and then we'll share some updates. We'll take your questions. So that's the usual agenda we have today. Joining us from Karachi, our Asia Region Director is Khwaja Naman. Welcome to the show, Naman Sahab. Okay, so you have to unmute your mic, Naman Sahab.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome Amir Saab. Pleasure.
Thank you very much. Joining us from Lahore is our Toronto team member currently visiting Lahore and arranging our consultations in Lahore and Islamabad at the moment. And she is with us online today, Faria Amir.
Hi everyone, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. And joining us from the capital city, Ottawa, our team member, Guli. Okay, so you have to unmute your mic too, Guli.
Hi everyone, sorry. Nice seeing you all. Happy New Year.
Great. Guli is formally trained in immigration procedures and law, and she'll be presenting today a very important topic that is the new program, the Newfoundland program. She'll be presenting that. Joining us from Toronto, our team member is Beba. Welcome.
Good morning everyone and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, Beba. She will be presenting the parents and grandparents update. Abiba is also formally trained in immigration laws and procedures, and she'll be happy to share her insights in the new program, in fact, not the new program, but the new intake and the 2020 intake. All right, everyone. So we'll start with some of the updates that I wanted to share with you guys, and then I'll request my team members to share their presentations with you. So basically, the first update that I have is that everyone who is entering Canada from overseas, including the Canadian citizens and permanent residents, they are required to present a negative COVID-19 test. Previously, it was not required, but given the situation worsening in terms of the spread of the virus in this country and all over the world, people are now required to present a negative COVID-19 test, regardless of their immigration status. So that is one important thing. Ontario, the province we are located in, has offered a free test at the airport recently, but it doesn't absolve you from presenting the negative test. So you have to still provide it to the airlines before they could allow you to board the plane. We also saw that the provinces have continued to invite immigrants, the candidates for provincial nomination. We saw that British Columbia and Manitoba has held 2 draws in the start of this new year. And the bigger news was the 2 express entry draws that happened last week, in fact, this week. And one was on the 6th of January, and the other one was on 7th of January. And Khwaja Numan, our Pakistan office director, would be sharing with you those updates during his presentation. And that would also give you an idea about the plans Government of Canada has in terms of welcoming immigrants and meeting the quota they have set themselves to welcome 401,000 immigrants this year. Okay, so these are the quick updates I had. I'll add a few more later, but I'd ask my team to contribute toward the presentation. We are also going to take your questions. Before I move on to Guli for her presentation, I would just like to acknowledge people who are joining us today. Let's see who is with us today. We have, okay, so we are formally going live on LinkedIn for the first time. So we are simultaneously online on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I can see that most of the people who are joining us today are from LinkedIn. So it's good news. Shahid Abbas is from LinkedIn. Thank you for joining us today, Shahid. We have Muhammad Al-Rashidi joining us. Thank you. From Facebook, Bahar Ali. Bahar is our regular viewer, so I can identify Bahar. I'm just going to skip the question that you guys are posting right now. I'm just acknowledging your presence here, and I'm thanking you. Rizwan Karim is from LinkedIn joining us. Rafiq has been with us for quite some time now. Aksa, welcome. Akif is also joining us. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, so my mistake, I put the question. And we have Maria also joining us from LinkedIn. We'll provide it to you, Maria. Just Google me, you'll find me, but I will provide it to you. Zubair Shah is here with us. Fadi is also with us. I'm unable to translate that, but Guli is going to help us, I'm sure. Maria is here. Afzal Adia is with us. Afzal is one of my friends, a very good friend. He's the owner of Bombay Lights in Karachi. Thank you for joining us. Wonderful. Zubair is with us. Zubair, I also have an age problem, but we'll figure that out. Don't worry. Okay, Saeed is also with us today, and I mean, I'm actually spellbound. There are a lot of people joining us today, and most of them are from LinkedIn. I'll leave the translation to Guli later on. Okay, Guli,
I would love to, but I don't really speak Arabic.
I had the wrong idea about that. I'm sorry about that. Okay, no worries. We're going to use Google Translate. Google has the answer to everything. So, okay, wonderful. Everyone, thank you for joining. We have so many people joining in today. So let's formally start our presentation, and we'll take all the questions one by one. And let's start with Guli's presentation. The floor is yours, Guli. Please go ahead.
Thank you. So hi, everyone. Today I'll be explaining a little bit about the new stream that was opened for one of the provincial programs. It's called the Priority Skills Newfoundland program. So this program is intended for individuals who have work experience in occupations that are high demand in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. As well as having the work experience, you also need to have a high level of education, language, again, work experience. I'll explain a little bit about the type of work experiences that are required for this program, and who wish to express their interest in either coming to the province and becoming a permanent resident in Canada. So currently, the expression of interests are being accepted from people who have worked in in-demand occupations. As I mentioned, I will give the list of the type of occupations that this province is looking for. Also, there are individuals who have completed a PhD or a master's degrees from the Memorial University, that's in Newfoundland, within the past 3 years in the spheres of technology, healthcare, aquaculture, and agriculture. So when you're applying for this program, you have to fill out a questionnaire where you will be scored against your qualifications and the eligibility criteria. And then depending on if you meet those requirements, you get an invitation to apply. So what are the eligibility criteria for this program? So all the candidates must have taken an English exam, which is, and the minimum should be the CLB level 5, which is not very difficult to take. So in terms of that, it would be, if you do a little bit of, work on yourself, it's very attainable to get the CLB 5. It has to be CLB 5 minimum and higher. You also need to be at least 21 years of age, and you have to have the intention of living in this province, which is Newfoundland and Labrador, permanently. For the in-demand academic candidates, as we mentioned before, you need to have PhD or a master's degree from the Memorial University within the past 3 years. And you need to have at least, for the in-demand work candidates, you need to have at least 1 year of full experience in the last 10 years in the in-demand occupations list. So again, what are the in-demand occupation lists? So for the health sector, you have to have occupations in the public and private health sector providers. So you need to have experience as a physician or a family doctor, such as family medicine, psychiatry, pathology, gynecology, anesthesia, and so on and so forth for that one. You need to either have a nurse practitioner experience, a practical nurse with a license, a personal care attendant, clinical psychologist, medical physicist, and radiation therapist, and so on. For the IT sector, which is obviously really growing in Canada, for the engineers and developers, you need to have experience in software development, biomedical engineer, user experience or UI developer, electrical engineer, web developer, and so forth. So you can see the list. It's a lot to go through, but basically they are looking for IT, and that's going to be in high demand in Canada for the coming years. For the technical specialists, they're looking for security specialists, computer network support, offshore technicians, technical writing, cloud specialists, so very specialized occupations that they are looking for. Now going for the aquaculture sectors, they're looking for farming and feeding managers, assistant managers in this field, site managers with water quality expertise, area managers. So again, a very narrow occupation list that they're looking for. So how is the process of applying to this program? So first, you complete an expression of interest. You apply that, and once you meet all the criteria, eligibility criteria, you receive an invitation to apply from one of the officials of this province. And once you receive the invitation to apply, you can apply through their online portal, which will then take the application further. So this is the new program. It's definitely seems like a very challenging one because they're looking for very specialized people with high education and experience. But at the same time, it definitely is one of the alternatives to come to Canada with promising, as there is a demand for these jobs, with promising, hopefully, job offers and everything. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And I believe, Guli, would you like to let us know about the number of slots they are looking for, like for the entire year? Are they looking for, or are they targeting a specific number of invitations?
Yes, so currently they are looking to fill around 250 to 350 slots. It does not seem too much, but at the same time, it is very specialized as we went through the occupation list. However, everything is by chance right now. And if you have experience in any of these, the other criteria seems pretty attainable, like the CLB5. So I would definitely offer this as one of the alternatives for people who have experience in this field, because those provinces are also very beautiful and they have a lot of growing economy. So yeah, it's not a big slot, but definitely something that is potentially very, very welcoming.
Okay, and I believe you also prepared a summary video for the program. I'm going to show it to our audience very, very quickly, and then we'll move on to our next presentation to Beba. Okay.
Thank you.
So the video sums it all. Thank you very much, Guli, for the excellent presentation. Let me invite Beba for our presentation on the new parents and grandparents lottery that happened. And the parents and grandparents program is for Canadian citizens and permanent residents who are interested in sponsoring their parents to come to Canada as permanent residents. And we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the future of this program, because my understanding is that the minister has indicated that they are going to process 10,000 people, but they are going to process 30,000 for the 2021 intake. So anyone who is not selected this time around has a pretty good chance of being selected in the next intake. So we're going to discuss that. So let's start with the update on the parents and grandparents sponsorship, and the floor is yours, Beba.
Thank you. So I'm going to be talking about Parents and Grandparents Lottery 2020. So on January 5th, IRCC started to notify prospective sponsors for parents and grandparents who submitted an expression of interest to sponsor their relative. So what IRCC officers did, they picked randomly 10,000 people, prospective sponsors, and they invited them to apply. However, for next year, for 2021, the Minister of Immigration has announced that the quota is going to be 30,000 invitations. So it's much more. So how to apply? The sponsorship process is a 2-application process. So first you have to apply to become a sponsor. And second, you have to, your parents and grandparents have to apply for permanent residence. Of course, you have to be eligible to be a sponsor, and to be eligible, you have to be at least 18 years old. You have to live in Canada. You have to be a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or registered Indian. And you have to have enough money to prove IRCC that you're going to be able to sponsor, that you're going to be able to financially support the person you're sponsoring. So what is going to be requested, you're going to have to submit a notice of assessment from CRA for past 3 years to prove that you meet the minimum income requirement. So about the steps to apply. So the first step is to submit an application to express an interest that you want to be a sponsor. And what IRCC is going to do, they're going to close all the duplicates and close all the applications that are incomplete, and then they're going to randomly pick $10,000. So 10,000 applicants. Second step is you have to get an invitation, because you cannot apply if you don't have an invitation to apply. The third step is when you have to fill the full application package and submit it to IRCC, and you have 60 days to do it. The fourth step is you have to pay applicable fees that are normally processing fees, right of permanent residence fee, and biometric fee. And then you have to submit your full application, and you have to provide all additional documents that may be requested during the processing. And those could include biometrics, medical exams, and police certificates. So since the COVID-19 measures, IRCC recognized that some sponsors may be affected financially by this disease, and so they, for the tax year of 2020, they let people to apply with a reduced minimum. So the minimum necessary income is reduced to minimum income instead of minimum income plus 30%. And also you have, instead of 60 days, you can get a 90-day extension to submit all your documents in case, due to the coronavirus, you cannot get all your documents before the deadline.
Right, perfect, Beba. I'd like to add a few more things into it, because there is a little bit of concern going around as to what will happen if someone doesn't get an invitation to apply, because there are only 10,000 slots. And because of the pandemic, the program was on hold. And of course, a lot of people became eligible. For someone to become eligible to sponsor a parent, as you rightly indicated, that they need to meet the minimum income requirements, and they need to produce 3 years tax returns, as you indicated. So 3 years tax return plus, in each of those tax returns, you have to meet the minimum income requirement plus 30% on top of that. So there's a formula that you need to apply before you could determine whether you meet the minimum income requirements or not. So the last slide that you indicated, yes, that is correct. 2020, the Canadian government has allowed people to not add that 30% to the total of their income, and they can just meet the minimum income requirement rather than adding the 30%. So that is a good thing, and Canadian government understands that parents, of course, they need support, then they should be considered. But having said that, of course, the focus is more toward the younger applicants. They encourage international students and skilled workers. So in order to maintain or strike a balance, they will have more quota allocated to other categories. And since parents, of course, are part of the family, they introduce a super visa category for people who are not invited to apply or who do not meet the minimum income criteria. They can either invite their parents on visitor visa or, as I indicated, super visa, which is a form of a visitor visa, but I term it as a mini sponsorship because a lot of things depend on the child who is sponsoring the parents in super visa as well. You still have to meet the minimum income requirement. You have to buy insurance for your parents, the emergency insurance, and the parents can be allowed at 10 years multiple entry visa, and it can allow you to, or the parents to stay in Canada for 2 years in one go. Otherwise, the visitor visa allows applicants and usually allows applicants or candidates to stay in Canada for up to 6 months, and you have to leave the country and then re-enter if you wish to come back. So I think this is the update we have. Now, I would request Rajan to join in with me for a little discussion about the the initial express entry draws of 2021 that happened on January the 6th and January the 7th. That is perhaps the most interesting topic right now for people to know what the Canadian government is doing in terms of inviting people. And we saw a glimpse of it when we saw the first draw happening that was focused on the PNP candidates. And then the very next day, we saw another express entry draw happening that was focused on the Canada Experience Class candidates, the category which is focused on international students and the international or foreign temporary foreign workers in Canada. So let's have a discussion on this, Mansa. The first draw that happened, it saw very few applicants invited. That was, I think, 250 applicants invited, and the CRC score was an upwards of 800, and that actually gave people a bit of concern that what's going on? How could it be 800? And I was able to tell them that, you know, these are PNPs. These people get 600 additional points for nomination. So if someone has 600 points, that means he or she had to have only 200 plus points, right? 250 points or something, in order to get an invitation under the PNP or in this particular draw. So what is your take on this, and what is the composition of the express entry pool at the moment?
Yeah, Amir Saab, interestingly, it appears to be a good news. Interestingly, we have observed that around currently we have observed there is a 25,000 applicants into the pool at the moment, if we consider it like the pool from 4th of January. So right from the kick of the 2021, we observed 25,000 applicants into the pool having CRS score 451. That means, and if we consider the selection draws these days, they've been selecting applicants like 4,750, and around the first draw that happened for PNP, that they selected 250 applicants, and the second draw right after on January 7th, they selected like 4,750 applicants. So if we consider it like and if we combine it together, almost 5,000 applicants got a selection in 2 days. That means the inventory that we have above 451, like 25,000, it has been reduced to now 20,000. This means if and considering the bigger quota expectedly in this year, which is approximately 4 lakh immigrants, obviously not the economic immigrants, but it's a mixture of, but still considering this bigger quota, if this continues to happen, I am foreseeing a very good news for the applicants, even sitting on 450s, 440s, waiting for their turn at the end of the day. This year, I'm telling you, Amir Saab, this is going to be a good year for those applicants this time. And I'm hopeful for them. This is what my intake on that.
Yeah, it's always exciting, when a catastrophe of this magnitude happens and then some good news comes along. It's always exciting. Thank you very much for sharing your insight. And it's actually very technical as well because you went through the composition of the express entry pool and you did your calculation. So it's very good news for applicants who are interested. Let me bring in Faria because she is down in Lahore all the way from Toronto, and she's arranging all those consultations. And she's coming across a lot of questions from people, and she has few questions she shared with me last night as well. But I would like her to ask right now so that we could address them in the presence of our audience. And let's see what she has to say and what her experience has been for the last 1 week she has spent in Lahore at the moment. Hi, Faria.
So I've had amazing experience. I've been receiving a lot of queries. So many people are interested, and there are a few questions that I always come up with. And number one, it's like, what is the importance of selecting correct primary occupation in skilled worker application?
Oh, okay. So what is the importance of selecting the primary occupation? What is the, I think, significance of selecting the correct occupation, perhaps? It is as significant as someone need to have food every day, right? And it's like, it's so important. It's the vital part. It is the vital part, I would say, because if you do not select the correct occupation, the primary occupation, then you could, in fact, see a refusal. And the reason why I say is this because when you look at the selection criteria for skilled workers, everything is very objective. For example, age factor, you can calculate your points. And you know that as you grow in your age, you lose points, right? Up to a certain age level, you don't lose any points, but then you start losing points from age 30. Education, you know that you have fixed points unless you gain some additional qualification. Work experience, with every passing day, you are gaining on work experience. But choice of occupation is very important because if you select a wrong occupation or wrong national occupation classification code, then you'll have to substantiate your claim by way of supporting documents. For example, you chose accountant, but you were auditor, right? It may not be a very good example, but I'm just hypothetically giving you an example that you chose a wrong occupation because at the express entry profile stage, you do not provide any documentation. You just indicate, I have experience in this particular occupation. And when it comes to invitation to apply for permanent residence, you need to provide a detailed employment reference letter from your employer, your HR department, or your immediate supervisor. And if that supervisor or HR department indicate your job duties which do not match with the occupation you had selected, although you do have work experience, but because of the mistake you've made, the officer would say, no, you do not have work experience in this particular occupation, which you claimed as your primary occupation. And a lot of people make that mistake. One important tip that I might want to share with our audience is that sometimes people think that they can only nominate primary occupation, the last experience or the present experience they have. They can only nominate that particular occupation because you might have different occupations, professions in your career, and your 10 years in your career history, the 10 preceding years are important because that is the time the work experience is considered. Any work experience you've gained in 10 years, preceding 10 years will be considered. So you might have work experience sometimes back 5 years ago, and that occupation is in demand in one of the provinces, for example. You might want to make that occupation as your primary occupation so that it's visible to provinces. So there's a little bit of technicality involved, and if you take care of those things, you don't make those mistakes. So it's very, very important to choose correct occupation, especially from the point of view of provinces. In federal skilled worker program, there is no occupation list as such. You need to have work experience in National Occupation Classification Code O, A, and B. And we'll discuss about that in some other session, that what are those O, A, and B. But as long as you have that work experience in one of those occupations, and if your ranking score is coming up to the pass rank or one of the draws happening, you are expected to get selected. But when it comes to provinces, they are usually interested in seeing if the applicant has required work experience that is in demand in their province or region, right? So that is how it becomes even more crucial that you improve your chances of selection by provinces by choosing the correct NOC and highlighting the occupation or the NOC code that suits you best in terms of getting the positive result for your immigration petition. Okay. Do you have any further questions? I believe because you're in Lahore right now, you must have come across a lot of those, right? We'll try to cover whatever we can today.
Yes. Another one I have is, can a businessman also qualify as a skilled worker?
Why? This is a good question. This is an excellent one. Can a businessman qualify as a skilled worker? For sure. A businessman can qualify as a skilled worker as long as he or she meets the requirement of skilled worker criteria. These are two different streams, right? Business immigration is depending on your ability to establish a business in Canada. You have the required net worth, you have a good business plan, you have a proven track record of business, operating a business. But what if you are a young entrepreneur who is below the age of 35, who has a master's degree, who's fluent in English, and who is working in a family business as general manager, partner, for example, in a business, or a director of a private limited company, you're one of the shareholders. Naturally, you are performing some work. You are maybe heading a department, performing a particular task, or you are managing the operations generally. So you can qualify. Yeah, the only challenge is when someone is a sole proprietor, self-employed sole proprietor, it is difficult to write. In fact, it is impossible to write a letter, employment reference letter for yourself. It would be a CV then. So the officer will not give credibility to that kind of documentation, although we have been able to get approvals for even self-employed people applying as skilled worker, because you have other supplementary documentation that shows that you have performed the duties. For example, a web designer has been assisting companies and clients in their online projects. So those contractors, those clients will write a letter or a reference in his favor, but it is difficult to overcome that hurdle. But when it comes to you working in a company where you are a partner, the other partner can always confirm your job duties and legally, legitimately. Same is the case with you working as a director in one of the companies. You're one of the directors, other directors or the CEO of the company would confirm that you are the shareholder, but you're not a passive shareholder. You are performing the work. You come to the office, work from 9 to 5 or maybe more, because as if you are the owner of a company, if you are a business person, you're expected to invest more hours. We all do, right? We all are entrepreneurs on this screen. We know how it goes. We are not tied to 9 to 5. We work more hours. So yes, it is very much possible, and a lot of people don't apply under this because it is more economical. If you are coming as a business person, you have to commit to establish a business within 2 years, invest a particular amount of money. But if you qualify as a skilled worker, there is no obligation on you. You would still end up establishing the company, but you will not have the pressure. It will be much, much more economical. And we also end up getting paid less. But the client's interest is prime, and a businessman approaches us, we would always give them the best advice that, you seem to qualify as a skilled worker, and we end up getting lesser fees in terms of assistance, but you get the benefit if you qualify as a skilled worker. So of course, we would be able to guide you in the best possible manner.
Okay, that was a good answer. So I have one last question.
Sure.
What are the possibilities of immigration for people working in sports and cultural activities, such as artists, musicians, and film producers, and etc.?
Yeah, I was wondering, because you are right now in the cultural city of Pakistan, right? A lot of musicians and of course,
Yeah.
people in the entertainment industry must be approaching you. Yes, they might qualify under the skilled worker category, but there is a specialized category as well, which is not very well known, because the processing time in that category had increased considerably. But now these days, because of less load of work in that particular category, the processing time has come down to somewhere around 18 months. It is called self-employed category, and it is designed to target people in the people who are able to contribute toward the cultural life of Canada, people who are sports people. But of course, there is a selection criteria. You should be nationally or internationally recognized for your work. If you are, for example, into, say, if you are a gym owner and you are operating that business, if you are able to do that in Canada as well, you might qualify as an entrepreneur, which is a different category. But you might also qualify under the self-employed category if you have the experience in the sports world. So sports artists, sculptors, people who are associated with the entertainment industries, even actors and musicians and vocalists, singers, if you have been recognized for your work, you might qualify in this specialized category, which is sometimes more suitable because the skilled worker category has a more stringent criteria these days. So if you are one of those people working in those industries, feel free to get in touch with us. All right. I hope that answered your question. Okay, so let's move on to, yeah, okay. So do you have any further questions for you? No.
No, I think I covered everything. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let's move on to some of the questions. I need to scroll down to see if there are any questions related to what Beba had presented or what Guli had presented. I'm going to direct those questions to them. Otherwise, the general questions, we'll be able to answer those. And of course, they can feel free to contribute as well. Let's start with the first question. I think it's going to cover the whole screen. Okay. Kamran Shazad Khan is saying that he is an MS in computer engineering, which is a 2 years degree, plus he has a BS software engineering, and 18 years of education. He has 14 years of experience, and he will get 68 points in SINP. Is there any way to increase those points? Okay. So let me ask Numan Saab to answer to that question if he can.
Yeah, if I would get 68 points in SINP, so is there are actually ways to increase in SINP by having a relative, by having a job offer? I'm sure these conditions would not met by Kamran, I guess. But considering that other way, there is no other way as such. But however, we can look into the details of your profile. But seems like if you're making 68 points and that's it, if you don't have any job offer, if you don't have any relative residing in Saskatchewan for the last 1 year period, I believe we have to stick to it and hope for the best to wait for the turn to come in to get a selection at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you very much for this answer. Altaf has joined us from LinkedIn and is asking what would be the option for an experienced food technologist. Altaf, as we indicated earlier as well, there is no occupation list as such, but food technologists could be in demand in one of the provinces. We can explore that option, but we can also explore the option of you meeting the minimum requirements under the federal skilled worker program as a first step, and also see whether you'll be able to enter the pool of applicants. So in most of the cases, even if you have to apply for the provincial program, you are required to enter the express entry pool. Say for few of the provinces, like Guli talked about Newfoundland, the new program, and I didn't see food technologists there, right, Guli?
No, there was no food technologist for this time.
So of all these provinces where occupations in demand category exists, like SINP, the Saskatchewan program, they are very limited in terms of the occupations, and the federal program is open to all. So food technologists would be very welcome under the federal program, but we can also explore the provincial options for you. And once you provide us your details by way of completing our assessment form, our team is going to have a look at all the factors involved in making an assessment for you and let you know your options. And then we can arrange a one-on-one consultation as well to make sure that you have right information and reliable information. Qadir is joining us from Dubai. Thank you very much for joining us, Qadir. Altaf is telling us that he is from Pakistan. Thank you for joining us. Aksa Faisal is saying she has a relative in Alberta, but she's eligible to in Newfoundland, priority skill, and she has 94 marks. Her relative in Alberta can be negative impact on her Newfoundland assessment. Yes, it can be, because if you have relatives in any other province, it is your job to convince the target province that you will not betray them. You will not go to any other province. You would stay. So of course they will require you to submit a statement of purpose and your plan, and if they get convinced, they should consider you. Although of course it is also possible for you to move to any other province later on. There are no restrictions in moving around or relocating in Canada, but you still have to convince the province that is considering you, and you get 600 extra points. They can be instrumental in you becoming a permanent resident. So if they are doing this favor to you, and you should do the favor of staying, working in that province and contribute to their economy, because that's what you intended, right? That's why you got those 600 points. So my advice would be, a lot of people joining us from Dubai today. I'm missing Dubai already. So Iftikhar Ahmed is joining us from Dubai. And what is the situation, by the way, in Dubai? I think it's quite, it is in control, I guess.
Yeah, it's in control, perhaps because there are people in Dubai go for the vaccine, and you don't need any mask then.
Wow. When this is going to happen in Canada, I'm not too sure. What do you think, Beba? When are we getting vaccinated?
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. Yeah, that's the best answer Canadians can get, right? Hopefully soon. When is my immigration application gonna be processed? Hopefully soon, but wait. Okay. Ismail Azam is saying from Oilfield, Texas, how are you doing? Nice to see you on LinkedIn. Thank you very much, Ismail. We share last name. I mean, this is your, I don't know, it's your middle name, right? Ismail. Okay, welcome. I see there are, I mean, it is actually a lot of people there today. And I'm very thankful, everyone appreciating the efforts of my team. I usually don't prepare that much, but they do coordinate and put things together. There is a question Iftikhar is asking. He's 40 years and 2 months old, currently working in Emirates. Don't know if I still qualify by age. Need your guidance to proceed further. I've kept your ID saved since last 12 years. Seeing you live here for the first time. Let me know about aviation demand. First of all, thanks a lot that you know me since my, I would say, still old age, right? 12 years ago, I was still old. But thank you very much for being in touch. And 40 years is not old age, I would say. But yes, you start losing points. And that's why these provincial programs exist as well. If you do get selected in those programs, then you have a chance. People ask me, is it worth it? Should I apply or not? Yes, it is worth it. Should you apply or not? It's your decision. But the thing is, if you don't submit your application, nothing's going to happen. The way it is not happening with your application, because you are not there, right? You're not in the picture. But when I say it is worth it, I don't mean that it's guaranteed. Because there are limited quotas. You have to give it a try if you want to give it a try. Please do give it a try. First of all, let's see whether you qualify or not, because we need to look at your occupation and everything. And if you do, we'll be happy to assist you, and we'll keep our friendship alive for another next 12 or many more years to come. Okay. Shaira is joining us from Facebook. She's saying her husband is in Saudi and she's in Pakistan doing job of. She's in finance sector. She wants to apply for Canada immigration. So Shaira, the way we operate, we want to make sure that the client we are dealing with is indeed qualifying. And to that effect, we ask people to provide us their details in the form of their CV or complete our assessment form on our website, www.amirismail.com. You complete that, and our team is going to review the details and let you know within 2 business days whether you meet the requirements or not. If you do not meet the requirement, we tell you upfront, honestly, that it might not be a good idea to apply because it would likely result in wastage of time and money. If you do qualify, we'll explain it to you how. How do you qualify? What options do you have? And what would be the best strategy to put forward your application? Okay, so let's see if we can see. And Saira is in follow-up saying that her husband is a warehouse manager in cooking oil company for the last 7 years. So yes, we are going to definitely look into his eligibility. Gibran is saying that he's a Pakistani national joining us from LinkedIn. Currently, he's a resident of Bahrain for the last 3 years, working as a senior finance manager. He's an ACCA member, and he's got his CP and CGA Canada membership. Oh, well, congratulations. You are all ready to hit the ground running as soon as you land here, right? I'm also waiting for my MSc result from University of London. What suitable options do you have? So basically, we would require further information. Gibran seems to be an excellent profile, and you seem to be bound to succeed in Canada. But let's see where do you stand in terms of your qualification as a skill worker, and we'll see that in terms of your age, your work experience, your language skills. It appears that you're fluent in English as well, so should not be a problem. Okay, Shaira is saying she called so many times in your office in Pakistan. You called so many. You're welcome to call more, Shaira. No worries. And if you want, you can call us in Toronto too. We have our 3 phone lines and we have our WhatsApp number as well. Feel free to get in touch with us. Altaf is saying interesting presentation. Thank you very much, Altaf, for appreciating. Okay, so let's see if we can see some more. Shahid Siddiqui is appreciating us. Thank you very much, Shahid. Satisfied customer, very responsive, and they will provide you wise advice. Thank you very much for appreciating, Shahid. I remember assisting you, I think, some 5-6 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. You've been very kind. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's see. Takar is telling us that he has some important work to do. He doesn't want to leave this session, but he has to go somewhere. No worries, Takar. There will be a recording available. Always feel free to access it later on. Let me see if I could take a question from YouTube as well. We rarely see any comments from YouTube, but Naveed Asim has kindly sent this comment that he's working in Dubai for over 5 years as marketing executive for almost 2 years as marketing manager. He is already in the EE pool with CRS 430. Now, what are my chances? So you can clearly see, Naveed, that there seem to be no chances for your selection in the federal skilled worker program, not at least for the time being, because of the going pass rank. It has been hovering around 470. So you can expect no selection under the federal skilled worker program. And I'm sorry to be blunt like that, but we have to face the reality. The reality is that you should be targeting the provincial programs. And for provincial programs, of course, you have to be very vigilant and be, targeting the right provinces instead of wasting time in those programs where you actually don't qualify or where the quotas are limited. So I would recommend that you get in touch with our team in Toronto, or you're in Dubai, right? You can get in touch with us in Toronto, and we'll be happy to assist you in taking up your matter and assisting you in provincial nomination program. Okay, so let's take another one from Altaf Khan Mohsen. What is the current opportunity occupational health and safety field? occupational health and safety field. So as I indicated earlier as well, there is no occupation list available in terms of federal skilled worker program, but this occupation could be in demand in one of the provinces. We have to explore that option. And if you get in touch with us, we'll be happy to make an assessment of your eligibility to see what happens. Let me ask Guli about it. I don't think that this occupation was in demand because this is occupational health, right?
Yeah, I think we need to be more specific in what actually your role is, because this is very broad. You're giving a very broad explanation. If you could maybe, do the self-assessment online, give us a very specific of what you actually do. Maybe we can match it up against the occupation list that they have provided for the provincial programs.
Good, wonderful. Okay, so good answer, Guli. And let's see if we can get one more question. Let's see. Okay, so let's take Faisal Jangir's question. He's 28 years of age, MS in construction engineering management, 5 years experience working as senior civil engineer. Very good profile. You are not losing any points, not until you turn 30. So you're living in your golden age right now in terms of Canadian immigration, otherwise as well, being young. But yes, before you turn 30, apply for immigration and don't lose any points. And if you want free assessment from our team, feel free to complete our assessment form. Sunil is saying that he has bachelor's in nursing field and have 10 years work experience, and IELTS is 6.5 general. My age is 34. Am I able to apply in PNP or any other program? What is your take on this, Namansa?
Yeah, bachelor in nursing field, 10 years of experience. Again, it's one of the PNP option we should be considering, like Guli explained. Nurses are in demand there, and the IELTS that she got, seems qualifying for that as well. But we can consider other PNP options as well on the basis of the current IELTS. So I need to see the exact IELTS score. Do fill out our assessment form first step, and then we'll evaluate you all the options and consult you. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. And we have a question which is very relevant with the advice or the update we gave about the closed work permit NOC 2174, age is 38. I want to stay in Canada, but my project assignment will end. Please guide me. So we do have an announcement from Canadian government, but that is related to the postgraduate work permit, where they are allowing the students to stay longer by way of applying for another open work permit. We can explore other avenues for you. Please feel free to get in touch with us by using a book a consultation link on our website, and we'll be happy to set aside our professional time for you. That would be wonderful to speak to you. Okay, so let's see if we have more questions. Harun is saying that his education is MBA, is associated with banking sector for the last 15 years. What should I do? I'm married and having 2 kids. Okay, so let me give this question to, I think I'll give it to Beba. If you can contribute to this. The applicant is an MBA degree holder. He's got 15 years of experience. What should he do? I mean, I think we'll need more information from him, right?
Yeah, we would have to have more information for you.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
to assess it properly.
Yeah.
And give you the best advice.
Yeah. So exactly my thought, Guli, because the applicant has mentioned that he has an MBA, he has 15 years of experience. We have that 2 pieces of information available, but we don't know about his age, and I think we'll need more information from him. What do you say? Yeah, I think so.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, we would need your age. We would need the age of your kids. We would potentially check into what qualification maybe your spouse has, and all of these would be additional factors in how we could assess your eligibility.
Yeah, so my answer to all these people who are interested and they want to know whether they qualify or not is usually to simplify things, is to provide us further details. And we have our assessment form available on our website. They can complete it and we'll make an assessment of their eligibility. Our team is going to calculate your CRS points and everything using the tools that are available to us, and we'll be able to.
One thing which I'd like to add, Amir sir, for the last one.
Yeah, sure.
Seems having a 15 years of banking experience, I believe he's above 35 with this, as far as my experience concerned. But
Yeah.
I believe he seems to be a very good candidate for Saskatchewan province. So better do fill out our assessment form, I guess. This we can assess him under one of the PNP option. And this occupation banking one is in demand as well, and it's been in continuous watch for Saskatchewan draws. So we will be keeping an eye on them. So do fill out our assessment form. We'll assess him.
Okay, good. And I think that's a good point about the Saskatchewan one, because the occupation is in demand. Okay, let's take Maisha Qureshi, preschool teacher. She is with 5 years experience in Canada. Okay, maybe not in Canada, maybe some overseas. But if you have 5 years experience, preschool teacher, you will have good chances of being selected. As indicated before, we'll need further information from you in terms of your age, education, work experience. You have told us, but we need to be very specific about what NOC code we'll be selecting for you. So do get in touch with us. Our website is www.amirsmile.com. Fill out our form and we'll be happy to assist you. Etasham ul Haq is saying he is 31 years of age, PhD food technology, having 4 to 5 years experience. Can we help him deciding which program should he go for? He has tried to fill up online assessment form multiple times, but due to some it wasn't successful. First of all, my apologies, Etasham, that you have not been able to complete the form. We do get around 100 to 200 forms, intake forms every day. So maybe on that particular day when you were trying to fill it out, it was not working. So I'll appreciate if you can retry. And if you're still unable to do so, just send me an email at info@amirsmile.com and we'll be able to help you. Okay. So there is someone and he's a LinkedIn user. So we don't know the identity, but the question is there for us. Is it mandatory to take good rating in any of the language to immigration law, Canada? 15 years of experience in India and US, Europe. Yeah, a language plays an important role. It's an English and French language country, and language is, I think, the biggest barrier in you getting a job in Canada. So Canadian immigration program is designed in a way that a lot of weightage is given to the language skills. If you have good language score, then your chances increase. If you have less band score in IELTS, for example, your chances would decrease accordingly. Kamran Sari is asking, he's 45 years of age, IT professional, total experience is 16 years. He's unmarried so far. How could I apply for immigration? So, Mr. Ansari, your age is basically the only thing that is perhaps of concern, because you're losing points in the significant points in the age factor. But because you're an IT professional, you might be in demand in one of the provinces. And we discussed, Guli also mentioned in Newfoundland program, this sector, the IT sector, is in demand in most of the provinces. So if you want to give it a try, we can explore the PNP options for you and complete our assessment form. We'll arrange a one-on-one consultation and we'll be able to help you. Okay, so a question for Naman Saab says, is 3112 in demand, Naman Saab?
Yeah, it is in demand in Newfoundland.
Okay, wonderful. And the 3112 is what? What are we looking at?
Is the physicians, general
Yes,
physician,
doctor.
general practitioner and physician. Yeah,
Yeah,
doctors.
so, and it is otherwise also in demand in federal skilled worker program as well, because of course there is no occupation list. So doctors qualify. The good thing is that they have a 5 years degree and it's a professional degree. They get points equivalent to a master's degree in points calculation. So that's a good thing. And depending on your age and number of years of work experience, we can determine as to where do you stand in terms of your qualification. Okay, Sunil is saying thank you. Okay, There is a question from Harun Malik. He's 38 and MBA, 15 years of
I think we
experience.
have taken this question already.
Oh, I really like this client, right? So ask the question. Maybe he asked the question again. Omar Shazad is saying he has a master's degree in management sciences, and he's got administration experience in educational institutions, 2.5 years of banking experience. So I would suggest the same thing. Get in touch with us, complete our assessment form. We'll be able to assist you with your free assessment. Okay. Mohib Khan is saying visa success ratio of SDS program. It's a good question. So visa success ratio, the SDS program was introduced in order to assist visa officers make an informed decision, or I would say, well, of course, they always make informed decisions, but make decisions quickly, because the criteria is such that the applicant need to meet certain of the requirements that improves their credibility as an applicant. So it is easier. So the visa success ratio is good for all those genuine students who provide required documentation, and they should be approved. And get in touch with our team, and we'll be able to assist you in that as well. Okay. I don't know if I took this question before as well or not. He's a software engineer, 2.6 years of experience, 27, married with 2 children, a spouse has a master's degree. How can I apply? So again, the same answer to you as well. We'll be able to make an assessment. And let's see. Fahim Akram is saying he's an ACCA member, BCom, 6 years experience, NOC 0111, which is financial accountant and auditor. I think the NOC 0111 will not be financial accountant and auditor. It would be financial managers, because I can identify with the O in front, right? Whenever there's an O in front, it is a management occupation. So am I wrong, Nomansap?
No, you're right.
I was thinking, but yes, NOC 011 would be financial managers, but NOC 1111.
That is 1111, yeah. Financial auditor.
Okay, he's 29 years old. See, there you go. If you make a mistake in NOC, it could be a problem. So now you know your NOC. So Alf will be at him. Hope he will score 8,777, and there's a smiley face as well. I'm sure you're going to score more than that, Fahim. So yes, get in touch with our team, and we'll be able to assess you. And I believe you have done your own research as well. You understand that it is important to score good bands in IELTS. That's why you're targeting the right bands. Omar Shazad has 4 years of administration education institution experience, 2 years in bank, 4 years in NGO as project coordinator. What could be the opportunity? Once again, the same answer to you as well, where you need to provide us further details for us to be able to make an assessment. Kushi Afreen is indicating that her husband is a software engineer working in an IT company for the last 1 year. He has close permit visa, and it will end 2000 what other ways to stay in Canada. So please ask your husband to get in touch with our Canadian office, and they'll be able to counsel him. Arif Sheikh is saying that he has 10 years of experience, more than 10 years of experience, and has diploma in CS and certificate in networking. Am I eligible? So if you have diplomas in CS, we need to see the duration of the diplomas, and when was that diploma obtained? Was it after your high school? Was it after a degree that you did? So do share us that information by way of our assessment form, and we'll be able to assist you. Muhammad Rehan is saying, remember me, Rehan here. Yeah, I believe I remember you, Rehan. My memory is failing me at times because a woman walks into my room and I realize that's my wife. So sometime it happens. Okay, but thank you very much for joining us today, Rehan. Aksa is saying, are there incoming streams from Alberta regarding the relative preference? We are not aware about that. We recently were made aware about a new stream Alberta is going to introduce, and they also went online in terms of applying the expression of interest system that they are going to be introducing, plus the change in the fee that was introduced by Alberta recently. So we'll keep you informed. Do visit our page frequently, and you'll see our update. Nurses, 7 years of experience, they are always in demand all over Canada, and especially these days, they are in demand. You could see Guli's presentation also had nurses mentioned in that. So yes, if you're a nurse, get in touch with us. We'll advise you. Tariq Aziz is saying that FMCG sales related opportunities in Canada. So if you're asking about job opportunities, we don't assist in jobs. We assist in immigration. If you're asking about immigration opportunities, sales occupations are in demand in some of the provinces, if I'm not mistaken. What do you say, Namansa?
Yeah, you're right. Sales occupation, sales and marketing occupation is in there in
Yeah.
demand in the provincial programs. Yes.
Yes, and Gohar is asking if he has 10 years of experience as external auditor and 35 years of age. He has attended IELTS, got 8 bands, expired now, CA finalist, and expecting results of BSc honors from University of Northampton, and currently working on KSA. So you did the right thing. You did your BSc honors because it, of course, improves your point in age factor. So this is a good thing, and I think it's a good case. We'll make an assessment and let you know where do you stand in terms of your qualification. Another question: 2174 NOC code is in demand or not? So there is a test going on today, and about your knowledge of 21.
Yes, it is. It is Newfoundland again.
Again,
Good
Newfoundland.
East.
Yeah, I actually have to refer back to my NOC all the time. I think it is computer programmers, I guess.
Yeah.
IT people, welcome.
Yeah, ID people.
Yeah. Sajid Hussain is 35, completed MBA marketing, currently working in banking as branch manager. So Naman Sab indicated, Sajid, that your occupation is in demand in Saskatchewan. And of course, it is also open in the federal skilled worker program. So it could be a good opportunity for you to consider applying now, especially when you're 35 already. If you grow in your age, you're going to lose more points. Oh, okay. There is a question. Saqib Hussain Bizenjo is saying, I have contact with you and your team by email. I'm following you for the last 4 years. Thank you very much, sir, for following me for the last 4 years. 33, single, master's degree, MCA in relevant field with computer arts animation, and he has 7 years experience, self-employed, no IELTS so far. What CLB should I achieve? Do I fit for PNP, Ontario, Alberta? Yeah, so yeah, I understand you. You are asking all the questions in one question, which province and whatnot. But we can definitely pinpoint the provinces for you. If you haven't done your IELTS, I would recommend that you do it as soon as possible, but after good preparation. And what CLB should you achieve? I think you need to rephrase the question by saying that I'm willing to achieve the maximum. And I would say that you target the maximum, because if you don't target the maximum, if I say 6 band should be okay, then you will score 5. I would say 9 band would be okay, so that you score 8.5. You work harder, right? Okay. 43 years of age, Surya is 13 years of experience. So you're losing points in age factor, and it is about time for you to consider applying under the PNP programs, because as the older you get, the lesser would be the chances. Dr. Samreen is also asking, she's 54 years of age, any opportunity for her? If you are a self-employed doctor, then you might qualify under the investor program. But if not, if you're a salaried employee, for example, the chances might not exist for you because you're losing all your points in age factor. So we can see if we could figure out something, but on the face of it, doesn't appear that you will qualify. Dr. Niaz is saying that he's got PhD in computer science from UK, 43 years of age, 18 years of experience, and what are the chances? Now, qualified applicants like you, qualification from UK, PhD, fluent in English, but when it comes to calculating the points, it is unfortunate that the system has been designed in such a way that it fends away qualified people like you. You are losing points in the age factor, regardless of the fact that you are highly qualified and recognized individual. Canada needs people like you But when it comes to calculating the points, suddenly you don't appear to have better chances than someone who only holds a bachelor's degree and is a younger applicant, because prime target is younger generation. So, but yes, 43 is still not very old. We can try in one of the provinces, in demand in one of the provinces. I don't remember on the top of my head which province, but we can explore it for you. Get in touch with our team, and we'll be happy to assist you. Okay. Okay, so Tariq is saying that he was talking about PR. I indicated that it is maybe he was interested in job, but thank you for clarifying. He has filled out the form for Islamabad event. We'll meet your team there. So Tariq, let me tell you that the team is not going to be in Islamabad. We will be doing it online. We will be saving you from the spread of virus, and hopefully you will save us as well. And we'll do it online. We will not be there physically in Islamabad, right? So do it online with me, and I look the same in person as well, as I look on screen, and you'll be satisfied when you meet with me online, inshallah. Okay, Muhammad Usman Aslam is saying that he's master's degree holder. He's 28, 1 year work experience, now working for French TEF exam, which will ultimately get him up to 504 points with a spouse profile. Well, that's a very good news. I think I have seen an applicant like you in ages, like someone who's saying that who has French skills. I mean, at least the part of the world that I serve in, Middle East and all. Most of the people are fluent in English. Some countries, of course, the French is the major language, but otherwise not. But if you're coming from a country where French is spoken, or you are working on your French and improving it, nothing like it, because Canadian government introduced additional points for French language. And if you have skills in both French and English, then it's even better. So that is good. Anila Zia is asking, Guli, physician means specialized or MBBS? So physician would be specialized, people specializing in one area of medicine. So what do you think, Naman Saab? Because I want to pull up the slide Guli had presented, and it had indication of.
It did have physicians. Sorry, I'll just cut in.
It has physicians.
Yeah.
It has physicians.
Yeah. So basically, when you do your MBBS, you become a doctor, of course, but then you specialize in family medicine, psychiatry, pathology, general internal medicine, radiology, gynecology. So all these occupations are in demand, and that would mean that you would perhaps require specialization, because the province is looking for specialists in every field, including the medicine field. Okay, so that perhaps is the answer to the question. What about demand of aviation engineering job? Kamran Zia is asking. So Kamran, you can search the outlook of the jobs in Canada online. We as immigration consultants do not help in finding jobs. We do not arrange jobs even. And yeah, I understand there are a lot of people who are offering jobs against some money, which is illegal, of course. We don't know about the aviation jobs prospects, but we do know that aviation engineering is one of the occupation in demand for immigration purposes. So we can help you. Okay. Then I'll see. I have very few questions left. I think we have 3 more to go, and then we'll bid goodbye. It's already, oh my God, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Time flies. Okay, so let's take I think two more questions. There is a question from Arif Rafi saying that he's got 16 years of education, 14 years of managerial level experience like production management, product development, sourcing, etc. He's 40 years of age, searching for jobs in Canada for PR as an easy route. Can you arrange a job for me, sir, or suggest what the best and easiest can be done? Okay, so when people come to Canada as immigrants, they sometimes end up looking for a job for months, right? it is difficult to get hold of a job offer from Canada, and we do not help in job offers. And if someone is assisting you in job offers, don't pay them any money because it's illegal to pay and receive money against job arrangement. So I would say that you do a job search on your own, but the likelihood of you getting a job offer is very, very uh, low. So that's how it is. But as I announce that we are closing, then there are a lot of comments coming in. So what we'll do is we'll try to answer one more question, and then the rest of the comments we'll be happy to respond offline. Our team will be happy to assist. I'm just going to take one more question before I conclude the session for today. Okay, so let me see where. Okay, so let's see. Sheikh Mohammed Arsalan is saying that he has 12 years of experience in business operations, finance, and procurement. And he is 33 years of age. He has two master's degrees, MA in IR and MBA. He belongs to Pakistan, but right now he's working in UAE. Do I have a chance? So MA IR, I'm assuming that you obtained after a 2 years bachelor's degree. In most of the cases, the Master of Arts degree from a country like Pakistan is equated as a bachelor's 4 years bachelor's degree, but you do have an MBA as well. But we need to see which institute was it from, because sometimes MBAs are also obtainable in a country like Pakistan after 2 years of bachelor's, which is actually equivalent to a 2 years bachelor's in Pakistan is actually equivalent to a diploma in Canada, right? So we need to be very careful. But it can, even if that is not the case, even if it is a 2 years bachelor's and 2 years master's, it seems that you do have two bachelor's degrees at least, two qualifications. So it actually increases your points. And we'll need to see further details because you have diversified experience in operations, finance, and procurement. We need to see if you are meeting that 1 year requirement, that 1 year, the key magic 1 year. Because a lot of time I've seen people having 11 months experience and then there's a gap, then another 11 months experience, then there's a gap. For the purpose of finding a job, they might say that they have 3 years experience, but for the purpose of immigration, they have zero because there is a gap. There has to be continuity. 1 year should be complete, right? So we'll see whether we'll be able to help you or not. Complete our assessment form available on our website. And let me just quickly show you the slides for our contact details. Do you want to add something, Namansa, before we close off?
Yeah, related to Arslan, you mean? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, in general, because, whenever you say something, it's always appreciated, right?
yeah, I mean, I always, as far as I see, I'm seeing the current year 2021 for applicants is a very good chance in terms of selection, or in terms of getting nominated by the provinces, because there's a number of bigger quota over there, bigger allocation of provincial quotas, most likely, and ultimately ends up with the selection. So people who are waiting and waiting in that terms, our points are low, they should give a chance at least to, rather than sitting idle and do nothing, they lose at the end of the day. So better to give a try. If you are not left with any option, you've been consulted, take a proper guidance. As we being a licensed advisor, we can always guide you in the right direction. We'll guide you to our best and make sure you remains to be in right direction and give you an open path and an honest opinion. At the end of the day, the decision remains with you.
Great. So Faria, what concluding remarks would you want to give? Because you are right now in Lahore, and we principally decided that you will, of course, you're coordinating, and there are a lot of people who are in touch with you. You already arranged a few consultations with our team. But what is your take on the one-on-one meetings? Because it appears that the situation of the virus is not under control in that part of the world either. So it might be a little bit risky, right? We need to
Yeah,
perhaps.
and a lot of people are preferring. Okay, sorry. a lot of people are preferring the online consultations in terms of the situation that's been going on in the world, and I totally respect that. And that seems to be going pretty successful.
Yeah, I prefer, because I couldn't travel internationally, especially in Ontario. The situation is really very grim, and Canadians are also not allowed to come back to their country unless they have the negative test. I'm going to show you the slide for our contact details. It's there. Our website is also mentioned. It is not mentioned, but the email address is mentioned. So do get in touch with us. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. Guli, thank you very much for joining us all the way from Ottawa, and we'll have you next week as well. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you, Beba, for joining us from Toronto today. And your presentation was wonderful. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, with that, we look forward to joining you guys again. Every Saturday, we are online with you. Keep your questions ready, and we'll share with you all the updates that happen between tomorrow and until next Saturday. So we say goodbye to you, and feel free to get in touch with us with your questions or concerns, whatever you have. Thank you very much. Take care and bye.